This has to be the most frustrating advice I ever see given in the carnivore space. And it goes back to something that I say or used to say frequently that I really should get back to bringing up, which is that one size does not fit all. And the most frustrating thing I see in the carnivore space is inevitably you go into any Facebook group is usually the big offender here, but you go into any Facebook group and you see someone's begging for help because they're trying to lose excess body fat. They're trying to lose weight. They're using a carnivore diet to do it. And they say, I am having trouble. I have not lost weight at all. I eat X, whatever it is. It's a very clean carnivore thing. It varies. Sometimes it's the classic ribeye. Sometimes it's just ground beef and salt. Sometimes it's a little organ meat there, whatever it is. But it's almost always clean and as austere on the carnivore diet as you can get. And they report that they're not losing the weight they need. In fact, that if they eat more than that, they're gaining weight. And this is frustrating because the advice they get, which is, well, you're not eating enough. You need to eat more. And then they're told, their response is always, I eat more, I gain weight. And other people's response is essentially a very nice version of, suck it up, buttercup. You need to let your body heal. Whatever letting your body heal means, because no one ever defines that. And so then an argument ensues, and then people appeal to the authority of their favorite sort of carnivore internet celebrity, who had to let their body gain a bunch of weight for several months before they then allegedly started losing weight. This stuff frustrates me to no end, and for one simple reason. Not everybody can actually afford to gain weight for months upon months upon months. If you are trying to do a carnivore diet or a keto diet or whatever to lose excess body fat, the very last thing you can have happen is to gain weight. That is not a healthy place to be. Some people have been given the talk by their doctor, the talk. And by the talk, I mean they were sat down and told if they do not get their body weight under control, if they do not start losing the excess body fat, they won't be around much longer. Oftentimes, people who say these, who've had the talk from their doctor, never bother to mention that when they go into social media groups, or worse. I have seen versions of that where people have said, I was told I can't afford to gain any more weight, otherwise I won't be around for much longer. They say that. They say it was their doctor who told them that. And people will still say, well, your body is healing. Eat more. It's madness. Please, I beg you, get off of this. You have to eat more to lose weight stuff. It doesn't make any sense. It has never worked for the vast majority of people who get into these groups and say they can't lose the weight. Many of them start out with the classic beef, butter, bacon, eggs, salt, nothing else, and eating until they're basically stuffed, which was or is the prevailing advice you see. They do it for several months, and they either lose no weight whatsoever after the initial water weight loss, or they gain more body fat. A lot of people can't explain how they're gaining body fat keeping a strict, austere carnivore diet, but they are in that position, and they get poo-pooed because their experience does not fit the narrative. Every group, every diet, everything in life you can imagine has the narrative. And oftentimes that the narrative doesn't measure up to reality, at least not for everybody. And this is why I say one size does not fit all. Please do not give that advice to people. Instead, ask some probing questions, more so than what you can give in one Facebook comment or two. You know, the carnivore coaches out there, one of the reasons that the good ones are actually so good isn't just because they got training. It's because they tend to spend time with people, actually probing questions based on actual knowledge and based on the understanding that one size doesn't fit all for everybody. You cannot prescribe a single intervention for people across the board. It just doesn't work. And this is why I am so happy to see that a lot of the bigger name carnivore channels are now admitting that you can't just tell everybody to eat as much as they want, as long as they stick to a strict carnivore diet, and that they will lose the body weight that they need to lose. That some of them are recognizing that you might need more interventions, and that's why you now have seen the talks of priming and pumping and priming and fasting and more emphasis lately, it seems like, on really hardcore fasting. A lot of us have quietly in the last few months started fasting 1 day a week, a full 24 hours or more. Over at Carnivore Quest, they tried to do a 14-day fast. It didn't go too well, but that's because it's a 14-day fast. That's not easy to do, but they went pretty far into it, much further than most people would. It's because one size doesn't fit all, that we need to really broaden our horizons as just regular people trying to help each other out. This phantom notion of you're healing, well, what does that mean? Are you talking about metabolic healing? Are you talking about all these various syndromes people have that drive them to the carnivore diet that are sort of like actually maybe the main underlying factor for why they aren't losing the body fat they need? It takes more sometimes to gain body fat than just having, a bad metabolism caused by yo-yo dieting. There are other reasons people can get body fat. Please, let's not do this anymore. This is not helping anybody. All you might do is drive people away. They say, look, obviously this is pseudoscience because people are telling me that, I'm eating X, Y, and Z every day, and it's a large amount of food. But if I eat more than that, I don't gain any weight. Or at the end of the day, the amount of food you eat, the amount of energy you take in every day does matter. It does. Dr. Sean Baker did a wonderful video on this a few months ago, reminding people if you eat too much, you don't lose weight. What does that mean on a carnivore diet? Everybody's different. That's what it means. Because everybody's needs are different, how active you are. Has anybody ever thought to suggest to people who are not losing the weight that they need to go for a walk every day? Just get to that baseline daily amount of cardio that a normal person should be doing. And I don't mean baseline like go run on a treadmill or for a run. Get up and move around. Or maybe go hit the weights, put on a little muscle mass. The shock to your metabolism that going from absolutely sedentary to being physically active can actually help spur some weight loss. And people don't want to admit that. Plus, carrying extra body muscle mass on your body takes more quote-unquote calories to maintain. These things help people with losing excess body fat. You can do what in bodybuilding circles is called the perfect cut, which is where you lose body fat and gain muscle. I've done it many times in life. I hope to never have to do that again doing carnivore once I finally get through this weight loss stall that I'm on. And this is why it frustrates me, is because if I go into one of these groups and say, well, I'm eating this, this, and this, and if I eat more than this, I don't lose weight. And then somebody will say, well, internet celebrity X, who is a completely different gender than you are, has different biochemistry than you have, has different needs than you have. They had to eat a whole lot extra to lose weight. So just suck it up, buttercup, and eat more food. Sorry, that doesn't work. It's bad advice. Ask probing questions. See maybe if they're not getting enough electrolytes. See if they're not exercising. See if they're not getting enough sleep. Those are just off the top of my head. There are a lot of different reasons why someone might be doing everything right to lose weight and they're not losing weight. And then you ask them questions, you find out, in fact, they're not doing everything right. They're not doing some of the basic stuff. Terrible advice abounds, and I'm sick of it. It really, really frustrates me because these are people's lives we're talking about. Some people are on their last straw before their body just gives up. So please be more careful. And let's not do these mantras of eat more, because that will magically make you lose body fat somehow, because it doesn't make sense on paper. Let me know what you think of carnivore communities and the advice you get in social media groups in general in the comments. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. It does help. As does sharing this on social media. That helps a lot too. I'm Anthony Stine, the Practical Carnivore. Thanks for tuning in.